we can get that to you later this afternoon. So that is off and running. That's recording. All right, let's talk about site tweaks to increase reach, everybody. If you want to connect with me on socials, because I like to connect with people on socials. Hello, Arnisha, welcome. Welcome from Murphy Handbags. We've got Arnisha from California. West Coast is in the house. Thank you. So you can see the first handle underneath my name and title is me on X or Twitter, right? The next is, oh, that's actually an old one. Sorry, I'm going to drop it right here. Man, I just, you look at things a million times and you don't see it, right? I'm going to drop it here. This is me on Instagram. All right, so on Instagram, I'm Marketing Coach Maria. All right, let's go ahead and dive in, everybody. We know that search is evolving so much. So, as we talk about reaching more people, we need to know how search works. And we know that people go to 5 different sources. All right. Over half of us go to 5 different sources before we make a decision. And you know that, you see it, you do it yourself. Think about your own past, what you actually do. So as search is evolving and how people search is evolving, it's important for us as businesses to be able to match that evolution, because if we don't, then we're not going to match what they're searching for, what they're looking for, and then we won't be visible. If we're not visible, people can't even choose us to do business with us. They don't know that we exist. So when we know they look at 5 different sources, think of where you show up and how people search for you, because it is on us to be experts in and on our customers and know how they search. A lot of you know that when I talk about Google, I talk about the fact that it's got 3 pillars that Google actually uses to determine where you show up in search. Now, each of those pillars can have tens of thousands of different factors, but they all are based in one: relevance. How well do you match what people are searching? Are you using the words that they are using? This is really important. You actually knowing what your customer uses and not what you think they know. So you're not assuming it. You're not going from industry speak, but knowing the actual words is vital. Because if you don't match, if they're looking for, hey, how can I handle, or um, how could I take care of my sweet fix today? Or I want to throw a birthday party for somebody and I'm not quite sure what would be a great treat for them. And they really, really love sweets, or they really, really love salty. I might be searching that way. You might have that you have amazing savory pecans, or you have beautiful, delightful cheesecakes. But if I'm not looking for beautiful, delightful cheesecakes and I'm looking for something sweet for a birthday, are you matching? No, you're not relevant. So knowing the words is really important. Relevancy is very, very important in search. Number 2 is distance. How far are you from the person that's searching? Even though we can always and almost serve the entire nation right now because we've become more savvy about what we do online, we also know that the closer you are, a lot of people are still searching for near me, cheesecake near me, banana splits near me, handbags near me. All right, we're all looking that way. So it's important for us to understand that. The third, though, is prominence, and that is your quality score. When was the last time you uploaded a video? Do people watch your video? Do you get reviews? Do you reply to your reviews? All right. Do you change and update the information on your site? Is it helpful, right? Is your site mobile friendly, mobile responsive? Does it upload fast? So does it load on a mobile device in 1.8 seconds for a regular site, and 1.2 seconds for a regular site, 1.8 for an e-commerce site? But we also know AI is in play. All right. So as you look here, we know that 15% of all the trillions, so there are trillions of Google searches every single day, 15% of them are new. They're novel. They've never been searched before. Just think about that. Trillions of searches and 15% are brand new. Now, I'm going to date myself, but if you remember, when the internet first started, we used to have Ask Jeeves, right? We would just ask Jeeves. We'd type it in and ask Jeeves everything, but we would ask in sentences, in full sentences, as if we were talking to the computer. Well, because of AI, we are back to the full sentences again. So us understanding that our keyword strategy of 2023 or even early 2024 is different from now, because people are evolving and actually using a lot more prompts and more conversational speak, and even speaking to their AI. So we see a lot of new searches we haven't seen before. In fact, Over 7 years ago, Google Lens started. And I don't know if you've ever used Google Lens, but what Google Lens is it's actually something on phones. It's an app. You just snap a picture of it, and then it'll search for that visual across the entire search engine. Now, Amazon has something similar. They do that for Amazon search. But Google Lens has been doing this for over 7 years. And every month there are 12 billion visual searches. Do you show up there? Are you utilizing and putting any products and services? So with your services, are you putting a visual to that? What does a happy customer look like? What does it look like when you deliver? What does it look like when you don't deliver, when there's no maintenance and there's a mess or a flood on the floor? Do you give people a visual? Because we are a highly visual society. So are we providing that? Because a lot of people just search with their camera. People can even hum a tune now on Google Assistant and it will find a song. So we know that searches are changing, but people are looking for personalized searches. They want it for them. I don't want to just find any handbag. Maybe I'm looking for a handbag that will complement this other handbag that I was searching for and I got already. Or maybe I love the color red or I like a lighter handbag. So something that's, crossbody, maybe something that's very, very light, or maybe something that's heavy that can take everything, even my laptop. So they're looking for that personalized experience. And so it's on us. It really is on us to know our customers so well that we understand their decision journey, the tools that they're using and the sites and where they're looking for information, and how we can be more visible is that being able to reach them where they already are. Because it takes us a tremendous amount of time, energy, and money to get people to look here when they're all over here. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in deeper into that. Now, we also know part of when you are trying to reach more people is what you provide. And things are changing, everybody. I just talked about the way that keyword search is changing. So when you think about what happened in 2020, we were all, kind of, in shock as everything started. But a lot of the retailers who were closed down had to do some quick changes. And instantly, it seemed like they understood how to do curbside delivery. It was a huge undertaking. Don't make me think that it's just like, okay, we're just going to say we're going to do curbside delivery. They had to think about it. There had to be a process. They had to have the tools and they had to have everybody trained. They really had to have a plan to do that. But once curbside delivery became a thing, we expect it all the time. I mean, how many of us were door dashing, Ubering 4 or 5 years ago? And how many are now? How many of us used to do video calls before 5 years ago? I used to do video calls before then, and everybody thought I was weird, that I should just go meet them at the coffee shop. But, now it's the norm. And now we're almost, we're zoomed out almost. Some of us are just so Zoom tired, right? We're so video call tired. The same thing with instant 24 hours free delivery. The minute Amazon started doing that, it shifted for the rest of us because the expectation was there. So when you think of AI coming in and affecting and changing how people search, we have to think about what we're doing on our sites to meet that, because it is changing. In fact, a lot of people liken the onslaught of AI to the discovery of electricity. And it wasn't that long ago when electricity was discovered and when everybody had to make that decision, and there were people, whether or not they want to use it, how they're going to implement it, because there were people who were okay with their wood burning stove and their kerosene lamp. But now there was a change, right? They didn't need the light late at night because they didn't work late at night. They slept. So we also need to understand this affects our consumer awareness. So that buyer awareness is important for us to know. So where are they? Not only what 5 places are they looking for information and what information they need and how they're seeking information. That's the heavy lift for us, because if we don't put those on our website, those words on our website, we're not relevant, we're not matching, we're not going to show up in the first 10 searches, and people will not search past that. But also if we're not connecting with them, right? Your message, your amazing message does not matter if people are not ready to hear that message. You ever hear that? When the student is ready, the teacher appears. Well, when people feel and they get a solution, so there's actually a problem or something that they're aware of, then the solution will start appearing, and they may not even see one, they'll see several. So the first part of consumer awareness is they may be unaware that they even have a problem or, something that needs solving. They may just think, This is it. The struggle is real. I don't know how to deal with this, but it's life. So they may not even know that. So if you're giving them all sorts of messaging out there, so you're meeting them where they're actually looking and searching for information, your website is just so rich with, oh, this is the solution and this, but everybody that comes across your site is even unaware that there's any issue. Are you aligning with them? Does your message matter? Or are you wasting great content, but at a different time where people are in their decision journey? Or are they number two? They're problem aware, so they know this is painful. I don't like it. I am searching for an answer. So is all of your content out there on your Google business profile, anything that you're posting on socials and on your website, really covering there is this problem? And are you struggling with this, or are you having issues with this? Are you wondering about this? Well, this is actually a problem that people are solving and they're working with. Number three is solution aware. So now they know they've got a problem and there are solutions out there. They don't know which is the right solution, but they know there are solutions. So now your content, your email marketing on your website, all your posts can be about, well, this is this solution or this solution. You could do this or this. So you can help educate them, maybe even help them decide how not to get into any pitfalls as they are discovering and researching solutions. Or it could be that they're product aware. All right, they know that there's solutions, and there's solutions actually packaged out there as products or services. So I know, okay, now that I hear this clinking and clunking in my air conditioner, I know that there is some maintenance products or some repair people who can help. And this is what they have. So I might have three different solutions that I know, solution providers or product providers, okay? So I might actually now be very aware, but I don't know who's best. Number five is when you are the best, when they know, when I reach this person, not only do they solve the problem, or to this company or this product, not only do they solve the problem, but they make sure they do it in an excellent way. So they are the best of the best of the best, right? They're not only just problem aware or solution aware or product aware, you're the one that they want. So what does the wording look like on your site? How are you matching them? And who's going there? Do you know where they're at on their awareness level? Are you reading your Google Analytics and your Google Search Console so you know exactly what the low-hanging fruit is that people are coming in, or their behavior that they're actually exhibiting on your site, so you can start making some good business decisions? By the way, Google Analytics and Google Search Console are 100% free. So what Google Analytics does is it actually measures what people are doing on your site. So how they behave. If I had an actual storefront and people came in, I would watch them if they gravitated towards something else, what caused them to buy and put things more in their basket or to ask about things, and what questions are they asking. I would pay attention to that. Well, you can for free with Google Analytics. Google Search Console, on the other hand, is where you can watch and see what the search engine has questions about, what it can't figure out when Googlebot is going out there and crawling your site, what it may not understand or misindex or misfile. So it's showing up somewhere else, but not really showing up to the people who are your best customers or who are more likely to look and want that information. Okay, so are you looking at those two tools? Because whenever I work with businesses, I look and see those two tools, and when they're not connected, I know they are missing a major piece of information about the people who actually are doing business with them and the search engine that can provide the results and answer the questions that people are searching for. They're failing in those two areas if they're not connected, because you don't have data, you don't have information. So a lot of people think SEO is this big, cloudy, unknown thing. And of course, everything's shifting with AI, but it is still search engine optimization, and it is still about what people are looking for. Are you providing the feeling that you are a real business? Your information is something that is definitely consistent. So as they check all the different Google tools, or as Googlebot checks it, you're confirming, information on your Google business profile and Google Analytics and Google Search Console and your YouTube channel, which is also a Google product, are all saying this is a real business. This is the same thing. They are active, so they are now confident in being able to push you higher in search there, and that means more people can see you, because people do not search past the first page of Google unless they're hunting you for a specific reason. If you did a great job making sure that you are number 5 here in consumer awareness, if you've just been networking like heck out there and now they're going online to find you, that's the only time they will look past the first 10 organic searches of Google. So that's the first page of Google search, After that, they won't go further unless they're just really diligent. But do understand that your competitors' messaging is also in the way there as they go to search you. So as they scroll past more competitors, you lose that validity. So you do want to show up at the very top. We like to do business no matter what our budget is with people who are the best at what they do. Well, people make the assumption if you show up first in search or in the first page that you are the best. You are the credible source, okay? So part of making sure that you are reaching as many people as you can is making sure that your site is accessible. So part of that, as I said, as I measure and look at Google Analytics and Google Search Console, it will tell me how accessible a site is, how easy it is for people to be able to find. Do you understand that over 69% of people have some sort of challenge when they're looking at things online? So if you are not meeting them, you are missing a major part of the population. So how are you implementing that in your website? A lot of times when people think accessibility, they think of physical accessibility. Is the space wide enough? Do I have a ramp over this curb? So as we look here, look at this. We see that they have over 1 billion people, all right? So that's 1 out of 4 adults. But look at that spending power, 6 trillion. Are you leaving that on the table and totally disregarding that in your website? So when we talk about site tweaks, it's not just about matching and being relevant to what people are doing. It's also that prominence score, that third pillar that says your site is a good site for people to go visit. Google feels confident in your site. It's got all the right practices to be able to showcase to everybody regardless. So you are inclusive in everything that you're doing. So as you look at this, you can look at your universal design. How many of you have ever looked and measured your universal design? And just let me know in the chat if you ever done it, because a lot of people don't think about it. You know, we just don't until we're presented with somebody who needs additional assistance. And so now we are thinking about, oh, we need to implement this. But just think of how many people you did not even reach because you weren't aware of it until that person made you aware of it, okay? So again, this is a chance for you to expand your market in really easy ways by making a few tweaks to your actual site. So one of them is assistive technology. You can do this and you can utilize free tools. So let me show you what I mean by that. You need to know when somebody's looking at your site, your website, and they're not well cited, they might be using a screen reader. What is that screen reader telling them? Because if it's a bunch of gibberish, it's alt text that's just, meant there to look good for the search engine, but not meant for a human consumption, so nobody can understand what that screen reader is reading. That's important. So what I tell people to do is you can utilize, let me show you here, you can utilize a regular Google Doc. So this is a regular Google Doc. You go here to the tools and you go to voice typing. I'm not going to enable it because I'm using my microphone right now. It'll take it over and then we'll be trying to figure out tech support the whole time. But you can click to speak and speak your normal language. So if you're doing any audios, any videos at all, if you are reading, even reading through your website, do this and click to speak, because now you'll see the text that's coming through. We all have different slang and different kind of, our twangs. I've got a Southern twang, so that comes into play, and I speak fast too. So sometimes text to speech, it's really hard for it to pick up. You can just test this here by clicking. I'm not going to do it, but instantly it will show up for you exactly what you said, or at least what Google picked up, and now you'll know what a screen reader picks up. And then also there is another tool, and I am going to drop that here in just a minute, but I do want to, let me go right there to that tool because I want to drop it in there. It's a Google Chrome, it's a Chrome extension actually that you can utilize. And there we go. I'm gonna copy, let's see if that'll work for me in the chat box. All right, let me put that there. That's a Chrome extension also that will read sites. So when you have it read your site. Is it making sense, or is it a bunch of gibberish because you're trying to put too many things in there, or you've got photos in there with no alt text for it to read, or your alt text, as we said, is poorly done, or it could be that you've got, things just too close together. So it's mashing a lot of sentences together. What do you have there? All right, so take a look at that with that Chrome extension, or you can use that free tool within your free Google account. So what is universal design? All right, This means that you need to clearly communicate your image descriptions, right? We want somebody who is challenged in any way to be able to utilize a screen reader and see that. We also need not just the descriptions and captions, but alt text. So you have about 100 characters you can use in alt text. That sometimes doesn't capture everything that's happening there. So you might have to use an image description. That's the caption that happens underneath. You don't need it in big text, but you do need it where a screen reader can read it and it's giving people context. Also, color contrast. Oh my gosh, I just came back from doing a session, a conference, a huge conference actually. It's been around for over a decade. And they asked us to utilize the same PowerPoint or slide deck design so that there would be a cohesive look in all the rooms. Well, the colors they used, all of them, the color combination, all failed the test of accessibility. And so I thought, that's really terrible for somebody who's right there who has challenges, or the person at the back of the room. The person in the back of the room that needs reading glasses is going to have a really hard time with this, especially if there's light coming in the window. So you really need to look at your site. Do you do that? Are you utilizing contrast? Ooh, tried to say that too fast. Are you contrasting enough so people can read that? The same thing with any of your social posts. Are you doing that as well, or is it just beautiful? Because beautiful is wonderful, but is it reaching your best customer? Or are you leaving some people who don't now have access to your information or your great post? Your design techniques, how you're formatting your text, right? Your links, and even those video captions. Hey, I wanted to take a moment to give a shout out to our sponsor, Shortform, which is a wonderful tool to help you be able to work smarter, not harder, by being able to take tremendous amount of information and get to the actual gist of it. Really, all of the key points, from blog publications to articles to actual videos in YouTube to books. You have all of that available to you through Shortform, and I've got a free trial available for you utilizing this link. Every week I do the Google update, which every Wednesday the audio format comes out in our free community, and then on Thursdays you get it by email. How I'm able to do that, because I look at 65 to 70 different sources, again, from video to actual articles and publication, is I'm able to utilize Shortform to help summarize and look at exactly what is the key points that would be of most interest to me, and whether or not I should delve in deeper so that I can apply how you can actually apply that as a small business and content creator, making the most use of an update for you. I utilize Shortform. Feel free to use this link for your free trial. If you decide to subscribe also using that link, you'll get 20% off, which is great, because for the price of one book, you have access to all of this, and it truly is very focused and complete. It is the best tool that I get to use, and I wanted to share it with you. Thank you again to Shortform for sponsoring many of the audios in this video. So, really quick, write this for yourself, and if you want to share it in the chat, in the chat box, if you want to share it there, I would love to hear how you would describe this image. So let me know. I'll give you all a minute to start writing. Just describe what's happening here in this image. Okay, you may say it's a cup of coffee with a spoon, cup of coffee with a spoon, white china coffee dish and coffee cup, silver spoon on the side, blue background. Excellent. Thank you, Ruth. You're brave, Ruth. You were the first one out there in chat. A white cup and saucer set against a blue background. Inside the cup is a dark beverage with spoon. Ah, okay. No assumption that it's coffee, Tamika. Ready to start morning with delicious coffee. I know. That's me, Juanita. I'm like, it's my spirit animal. That's what it is. It is the juice of life, but yep, black coffee, cup of coffee, white cup, and with saucer with spoon on the saucer, cup of coffee full with saucer and spoon on the side, blue tablecloth. See? So understand, as sighted people, we actually have a lot more context. We know that it could be a blue tablecloth on a blue background. But if we expanded this out more and you actually found out that was on a billboard, then we would see it instantly. But somebody who might be having challenges in that way may not see that instantly. So we need to give them more context. We as sighted people get the beautiful ability to get a lot of context already. So I can say it's on a white background on a slide. There is a almost square, but not exactly square, blue line with a border, and it looks like a blue background, maybe a blue tablecloth. It looks almost cloth-like, but it could be painted. A white cup. So again, I don't need to go in all those great details, but you can give more detail than we normally do, which my normal go-to would be cup of coffee, Java juice in the morning, and that would not be enough, okay? Because there is a lot to go into thinking mode. Yes, Ada, I'm with you. Teacup with coffee, no creamer with spoon. See, I love that though, because you're focused on that now. We just activated your reticular activating system at the back of the base of your skull, which means now you're more aware of it. And when you're more aware of it, you're more likely to be now making some decisions and actually applying the knowledge that you've gotten today. It's the same thing when we drive off the lot, right, of a car dealership. All of a sudden we had the most beautiful, amazing, unique car, and now we see 10 of them because our reticular activating system has been activated and we are more aware. So when you look at alt text and descriptions, think about what it would look like, when it's actually being described by a screen reader. Does it make sense, right? Now, the description may be actually also help with SEO, but more importantly, you're looking for helpful content to the person because that's everything that Google is shifting in search. So you want to match that. That way you can be visible also because you're relevant now. Also, descriptions are visible on the page too. That helps us as we're sighted. We might be scrolling fast and not really know exactly what this means, right? So in this instance, their descriptions were all meals served with coffee. They decided to go with that and they went with the coffee cup and description in their alt text. Just in this instance. Again, it depends on you and your purpose and what you want people to see, know, and do when they come to your website. All right. So you can see alt text is very short. So that's an image summary, but then also captions are longer. So you have a lot more characters you can use with captions. And you can see that people actually now start making really some good decisions and can see. Plus, it also gives the search engine a little bit more context because remember, the search engine isn't very cited either. And we need to show up and bring confidence to search for it to show us up in its answers. That's the reason Google's the #1 search engine in the world is because it's delivering the right answer. So it's got to confirm and feel confident that you have the right answers. So look at color and contrast. Like, take a look at this. See the low contrast for somebody who is colorblind? That is really, really hard to see compared to a high contrast. So as we look at that, you have to think about not just the brightness, but the saturation and how thick the lines are. So whenever I'm writing to somebody, not only do I highlight it because they may not see the yellow highlighter, all right, or when I'm putting something on my site that I want to highlight, you may not see that, but I need to bold it as well because the bold will help it stand out more, especially if they can't see any of the color. All right, so we can't assume that color conveys a different meaning, a specific meaning, because in different experiences, different frames of reference, it's going to mean something different. Also, textures help. That's why you see a lot of labels and a lot of the project management tools have different textures because they are actually taking care and making sure that they are being friendly and inclusive to anybody, no matter where they're at on their site level. And they're also labeling things to make it easier in a screen reader too, which also helps with SEO. So think of a moment you can utilize color and see what that may look like in grayscale, right? So right next to it, you see the column there to the left is full color, and then in grayscale, and why you would want to texture that if somebody could only see in grayscale, because without those textures, do we even know that they're anything different than, the orange one? How different is it really from the lime green one? Or the darker green one, if there were no textures there. So when we look also at text, this is important too. We need to think about what text looks like and how easy it is to read. There are many people when I'm reviewing their website that I see have beautiful, beautiful serif fonts, just curly and gorgeous. You can't read a thing on it, but it looks beautiful. So is it important for people to get the information or for it to just look beautiful? Again, you have to think about what is the end result. How do you measure success when people come to your website or interact with your post or any information that you're putting out there? Also, when you're writing a link, see for here, for example, this says visit this link, right? So I don't know what that is before I click on it. And if I don't know you, I'm not clicking on it because I don't want any virus or any spammy thing infiltrating my information or my phone, no matter if I'm clicking or tapping on it. But the one on the top explains to them you are clicking through here. So this is what you're clicking through to. And that makes it just a text that it's a text link that they're putting to that text that you can click through now and get to something. So look at your site. Do you say, by the way, it's not click here anymore, right? Because most of us look on a phone, it's tap here. Click here is yesterday, tap here is now. So people are tapping because they're tapping on their phone. And what are they tapping on? Are they going to tap on just some random link or overlook that? Or are they going to tap on, you know what? That's what I was looking for, the Grow with Google homepage. So that's exactly what I'm going to tap on, okay? So even with our video captions, think about that. Do we utilize automatic caption? Because we have it available to us for free. Do we use automatic transcripts? Do we create our own? Maybe we're using Otter or something. Do we have a vendor to create it for us? So when you think about that, like with YouTube, you can set it to auto translate and to do closed captioning. That's just in the setting. So the CC at the very bottom of a YouTube video will enable closed captioning, and then also, and it's not beautiful, it's not perfect, but it's getting better, auto translate as well, because YouTube's new AI actually translates to over 180 different languages. So you have that available to you, and all of that is free. But a lot of people just haven't explored that. But think about that. If you embedded an actual video into your website. By the way, embedding a YouTube video on your website increases your actual website visitors by another 115% because YouTube is there. They're both together. Those are two products that love each other. And now it's pushing you out further and higher in search. But if you're going to have a video there, make sure you've got it so that people can access it, because 67% of us do not watch anything with sound on. We keep it sound off, even if we can hear, because we might be in a meeting and we don't want to out ourselves that we're actually looking at a video. So even Vimeo has the ability to put on closed captions. That's another video tool. You can also do that with TEDx. You just can click on subtitles right there at the bottom right-hand corner. You can also do that in TikTok. It can automatically generate captions for your videos with audio, and you can turn that on and off. Again, who are you reaching and who are you leaving out of the ability to be able to consider you to do business with, right? You can also get auto transcripts on YouTube. So you can open up the transcript and put this there. Now, I love to use this for two purposes. One is, yes, to be user friendly and to let the search engine know, you know what, yeah, I'm really good, I'm real, and you can find this information here and people can find the transcript. My second way, though, I like to use it is I like to open that transcript and copy it, and then I utilize that to create a blog post, right? Because not everybody wants to watch video. Some people just want to process that and to be able to highlight or circle or even pay attention to what they're doing in reading. You know, all of us learn differently. Some of us are very visual. Some of us are very tactical, where you need to touch it, or we're kinesthetic, we can do both, right? But we need to know and be able to meet people, especially who are our best customers. I see a lot of sites that do put PDFs on there, and that's the worst thing you can do because Google can't read it and neither can a screen reader. So it's a horrible experience for somebody who's visiting your site and a horrible experience for the search engine. And remember, even though I'm talking about Google, what you do right by that search engine works for any search engine. You're doing right by the other search engines. So as you look here, you know, what are you using PDFs for on your site? Because I still see a lot of sites that use that, and that is not being helpful to people or to Google. So some of the things are, think about how you're laying out the information on your site. A lot of us use our home page as our junk drawer, where we get so excited and we want things to be visible, so we just throw it up there. But we need to be mindful of how people are consuming this information and how Google's seeing that information, so that we can be seen higher in search, and we are providing that helpful information that, you know, somebody could be that potential customer. Again, think about what is the purpose of your site. How are you going to measure that something successful has been done on your site? Okay, is it that people visit? Is it that they call, they download a PDF? So it's not that you have an embedded PDF, but they download it and they leave their contact information. Is it that they click through? Do they fill out a contact form? Do they watch the video? What does success look like? Now, when you're looking at text and you're looking what actually happens on a site, make sure you have a good ratio there, so it's not just all visual, right? Because let's say somebody is just using a screen reader. Imagine what that sounds like just to have a whole bunch of pictures there. Remember about links. We don't want links too close to each other because remember what I said, 84% of us go here first. And when links are too close, our big old fat fingers will click on too many things, and we're not mad at those big old fat fingers. We're mad that the site had that on, and so we go to the next site. We just give up on that. Have at least a 4-point font size. Good contrast, everybody. Remember what we said. We want to make sure that our information actually is readable by everybody. And then, of course, we're utilizing closed captions. So for you, what's in your action plan, right? I always say this, I said it at the beginning, that knowledge is not powerful until it's applied. You just spent 41 minutes with me. It's either a cost to you or it's an investment in growing your business. So what's that going to be like? Now, before we go on to the next, I just want to show you, I want to get some ideas of what you're actually going to apply or what was helpful to you. And then I'm going to show you some things in Google Search Console. So you will be able to make some decisions when you're in there. All right. So let me know if you use Google Search Console. Also let me know that too, because I'm going to go into a live demo to show you how to do some measurements or what to look at as far as measurements in Google Search Console. Okay. So let me know. Okay, you're going to embed a YouTube video on your homepage. All right, Sarah. Just make sure, watch the site speed that it loads fast enough to. Just always check that. And if you don't know how to check that, you go to Page Speed Insights or Google Page Speed Insights. Okay, who else? What are you going to apply? Yes, you use Google Search Console. All right, Maria, perfect. Let me show you what that looks like when you're in Google Search Console. I'm going to make it bigger because I am switching to another screen. Maximize the search keywords. Few links in my weekly newsletters. Oh, yeah, mindful of what the link says and how close they are together because we're all reading that on a 4.5-inch screen. So Ruth, perfect. All right. All right, let me show you real quick what it looks like when you're in Google Search Console. All right, this is what it looks like. Google Search Console is telling you linking keywords, Ada, perfect. You can go here to full report. When you're in full report, you can click all these things to make those graphs look great. And what you're seeing here is you're seeing total impressions. So the purple is how many eyeballs are coming to that site. But those are just eyeballs. I mean, when you pass by a billboard or when you've got your TV on and a commercial or an ad comes on, that is an impression. That doesn't mean you have people's attention. The blue are total clicks. Now you have attention. You have something. They're clicking and tapping on something. But the click-through rate is 0.4%. And I know that the average needs to be between 4 and 6%. So there is something missing on your site that they're not seeing when they're getting there. They're getting there. They're not clicking as much, only 0.4%. Something is missing on your site. So we need to learn. Your position is 18.1. You're 18 down in search. That means you're not in the first page because the first page of Google search shows 10 search results. 10 search results. So we have to show up there, right? That is what's happening here. So as we see this, now we can start making some decisions. Which pages are doing best? All right, so let's look down here. So if I was consulting this person, I would look at these pages and I'd say, all right, this is awesome that you are number 6 here, but the click-through rate isn't good. So I would say if you had limited time and money, captions. Oh, Ruth, that is so good to know. Thank you, Ruth. Everybody look at the chat box. Ruth has shared some really good information there, helpful information. Thank you, Ruth. Yep. Don't edit them. You have to edit because remember, this is somebody's experience with your site and your information. You can't expect for them to figure it out, right? So now if I'm looking here and I'm talking to a business and saying, all right, how should you spend your limited time, energy, and money? Well, first, you've got a lot of opportunity here. 9,000 impressions, 9,400. So there's an interest, but only 0.2% click. So then I could click here on this and it would open up that site in a new tab and I could go through that site and say, all right, let's take a look at this. What are they missing here? What could we give them? What do we know is already maybe an issue that are some of the basic problems, like, things are not labeled right, or perhaps they're not, very organized, or they're hard to read. Maybe there's not even any text there. You've just flowed a bunch of photos there. So we can do that. Now, it's going to be helpful and more profitable for us. This is the low-hanging fruit because it's already at 6.3. That is where it's at on the search results. So it's showing up in the first page of search. It's getting the visibility. We're just not doing what we need to do here to match or give the customer, the visitor, what they're looking for. All right. Oh, yes, position 30. You got a lot of work, but let's look at the pages. Look at individual pages, Tamika, to see which ones to focus on first, because it's overwhelming if you try to do everything all at once. And who has that kind of time? Because you still have to take care of customers, right? Your butcher, baker, candlestick maker, and also now chief analyst and chief marketer. So now when I look here, now here's one that would also, right here, I see there's a lot of impressions, lots of visibility. Position 11.8. So just 1.8, just two searches below the first page of search. So this one, we should also put some effort in. Plus 1.6%. So not quite giving them what they want, but we're a little bit better than we were over here. So we can start examining that. Do we have things? Are they consistent? Maybe we're, even our images, if they're off, they're not aligned, our images, people don't like that. They consider that a spammy site or maybe even a phishing site because they can't trust it. There's not that nice symmetry, so they leave it. Again, another one I would look at here is, here's one, my gosh, look at this great click-through rate. She's killing. I would actually look at this page and see what I'm doing right in this page that I could apply to these two pages, because this is great. 10.8% click-through. That is well above the 4 to 6% that it needs to be. So she's doing it well, but it's at 15.4, so not much visibility. So maybe I need to do some Facebook post about this and some email marketing around this, because I need some more eyeballs on this page. It does the work when it needs to. I just have it too hidden and people aren't finding it. So I'm about to post, I'm about to do a lot of videos, a lot of YouTube shorts and Instagram reels driving to the site because I need more visibility. I know this is working, I just don't have it visible enough. Or if I do keep it visible, let's say I'm really posting about it a lot on socials or in email marketing, maybe the words aren't right then. So maybe, it's just not intriguing enough for them there. Because when they get here, you can see click-through rate. They're clicking around to things. So when they get there, it's right. It's not on the page, but maybe how I'm promoting it out there, the wording's not right. So you see how you can make those good decisions like that as you look here, and you don't have to try to figure out, oh my gosh, like Tamika, if I was looking at yours, I'd go, oh my gosh, 30, what do we need to work on? Let's work on the low-hanging fruit. What gets the most impressions already, has a fairly good click-through rate, and is a position very close to the top 10. And then that's where you start focusing on, right? And those that have low click-through rate but high impressions, what is it there that needs to work? Maybe you can find that page that is performing, and then you can just do what you're doing in that page because it is absolutely resonating with people. All right, then I also go down here and I look at links, and I want to see what pages are driving traffic to my site. Who else? Because I'm going to go love on them. I'm just going to go love on them because I want them to do that more, and I want to find more people like them. So who are linking to my site and driving traffic? What is it that's linking? What text is linking? Because now, let's say again, I'm going back to this, and I'm wondering, okay, I'm here only, only it's at 15, so only 111 people see it, but when they love it, they click through here. So maybe I'm not using the right words in my marketing, in what I'm posting. So let me go back here. What words? I need to use words like custom orders, return exchange policy, because that's what people are looking for. I can also do that in Google Trends. I can find the words that people are using to search for things in Google Trends, or I could read my customer reviews, because in their customer review, in your customer reviews, in their own words, they're telling you what matters most to them. So they are telling you already what the priority is in their own words. If you don't have reviews, read your competitors' reviews, because you can get that information too. Okay? All right. So that is utilizing Google Search Console at a high level. And also, just so you know, when you publish something on Google, it's not automatically seen by Google. You have to put it in Google's library, because that's what Google is. It's the biggest library of the World Wide Web. And so you want to put it in the library, and the door to the library is Google Search Console. That's how you can make sure Google is seeing everything that you post when you post it immediately, and not having to wait 90 days or more for a Google bot to find it. All right, the resources. What is so valuable when you get a copy of the slides and when you get the replay sent to you later today is every one of these links is active. So you can click on there and go there. The one I like to use a lot, especially when I'm doing presentations, because I do a lot of slide decks, is this, the Web Aim Contrast Checker, because then I can put in the color code for all the colors of a slide and it'll tell me if it passes or fails. That's how I was able to know with that conference when they sent me, excuse me, their template design, excuse me again, that I was able to see that it wasn't good. I mean, I could tell it visually because I thought, oh, this is really light. When you've got a light pastel and a white text on it, that's very light. But I wanted to not just be my subjective point of view, but I wanted to be able to measure it. So I went here and I clicked there to measure it. So all of these are active and you can utilize this. Yes, just check your contrast there. And of course, reach out to the Google partner that invited you because they know here locally if you need help in anything. Let's say, oh, okay, I need to figure out, exactly how to do this in video, and maybe I need to do more video. So I need to go shoot more video, but I'm not a videographer. So they might know locally who to work well with, and they can give you those recommendations. Plus, they can be there to support you because they do have those local resources. If you want to get with me, this is how you can get with me. Of course, this is our paid membership, but I always post all the recordings that we do in any session, whether you're in the session or not, so they can look, and then we can start asking questions about it, because applying what you learned is more important than just the knowledge of what you learned. And our next session next Wednesday, so remember the hashtag Webinar Wednesday, because it's every Wednesday at 11 o'clock Central. We are going to talk about how you can get clients now, because a lot of times in your messaging, you're too wide, and when you're too wide and you're too broad, people don't connect with it. They don't feel like it's for them. Your messaging needs to, wherever you do message or have content, needs to connect and be able to get people to just say, oh my gosh, they get me. All right. So you can tap on that to register. Now I'm going to model for you what I teach everyone. And that is, if you've given good product or good service or good information, ask for a review, because people would leave you a review if you asked. Now, you don't have to leave me a review if you don't want to, but you do have that ability to do that. And this is what I model for people. Even those who are local service providers like plumbers will carry this on their phone, and people can just snap their QR code from somebody else's phone screen, and then they can go there and leave a review for you, which those reviews are very hefty. They not only help people make decisions, but they also help the search engine see that you're really a valid, good business. Okay. All right. If you need to find me, use that link, lowercase. Bitly's very case sensitive, but you can go to bit.ly/findmaria. It'll come up with all my socials. Feel free to connect with me on the one that you use all the time. I'm happy to connect with you there. And now it's time for Q&A, and I do